Hello everyone, it's Robola, and today we're doing something a little bit different. I'm gonna be casting a best of three that I played versus a friend who played Wings of Liberty. It's not an old friend or anything. We just hooked up, wanted to play some games, and I thought they were kind of interesting. So he used to play back in Wings of Liberty, so he doesn't really know stuff, which makes he doesn't really know that much about Legacy of the Void and stuff, which makes some parts pretty comedic. But anyway, he's like high plat, and low diamond with my Sergen Protoss, and about mid diamond with my Terran. So this is gonna be pretty interesting. So without any further ado, we're gonna jump into it. So up here in the top right, spawning a Zerg this time, it is me. And in the bottom left, it's my friend, my opponent this game. It's Nero. So I'm not gonna spoil what happens, but uh, so yeah, it's just gonna be me casting these three games, and just for reference, like my Zerg and Protoss, they're not really super duper good, but they're okay. I mean, I can beat diamond players with it. Just at least something. So I'm sending my drone down right now to make a hatchery down here. And it looks like the usual opening from Nero, the racks into gas. So we'll see what he will do with this. Sending his first SUV across the map to scout. It's not gonna see a lot. I don't really recommend scouting with an SUV. Well, it does make you proof against cheeses, I guess. But okay, you can scout with an SUV, but really, it's sometimes worth it if they're doing some like elevator rolling or something. But mostly, it's even being a little bit annoying here. And I'm saying like, go away, bitch. It's my mineral. uh, yeah. A Reaper coming out, so super duper standard from him so far, and super duper standard from me. I opened Hatch Gas Pool, which is a really standard and a build I really like is Surg Hatch Gas Pool, in at least CVT and CVP. Adding on the second supply depot. It seems like he's opted to go with a factory before the expansion, which is an indication that he's going to be aggressive. Uh, it's a pretty interesting opener because he hasn't added on a second refinery yet, so that's pretty interesting. I'm not sure what he'll do. Well, I know what he'll do because I play the game, but I want to build a tension. So he's going for the expansion right now, which is a bit delayed. You usually go for it a bit earlier, so I'm not sure if this is actually worth it. But as I said, he's a returning player and he doesn't really know any builds or anything, so he's kind of winging it. First Reaper is getting in here, and I'm chasing him around my Zerglings. Going out with my Queen here, getting a few pop shots. Going back. So yeah, this first Reaper isn't really gonna get a whole lot done. It's gonna get chased away by these Zerglings. So yeah, I'm positioning my Zerglings up here in case the Reaper tries to jump up, and I've positioned my Queen since it doesn't really need to inject right now. It doesn't really need to inject right now, so I'll put it out here in case he tries to go back with it, but I saw he went back, and I also saw the Reaper with his Overlord, so I was safe to pull the Zerglings down and the Queen back. So pretty sloppy with my injects right now, which is really bad. So I'm sending in my Overlord here to scout just to see what he's doing. So I see this reactor factory, which doesn't actually tell me a whole lot, but I am sort of expecting Hellions here, which have already arrived. So that scout was actually a tiny bit too late for this, but I'm waiting for more Zerglings to arrive here. And here they come. So I'm trying to get a surround on these Hellions, but doesn't look like I'm gonna get it this time. He's just chasing down my Overlord here. I've also gone for third behind this, so ooh, looks like I'm gonna get a surround on these Hellions now, which is a really nice pickup for me. Just droning up at the moment. See, my injects are really sloppy this game. Not sure, really sure why. I was really thrown off by the build he did, so I wasn't really sure. I was like, oh, it's because then I realized when he threw in this, when I saw that he threw in this cyclone and shit, I was like, okay, it's kind of a mech build then. So you see here, I'm going across with these circles, mostly just to have a poke and see what he's doing. Um, Not really for any. Like, I'm not trying to kill him or anything. I was gonna see if I could get some SUV kills, but I see, okay, that's too much, so I'm gonna turn around and get away from there safely. With at least some of my wings. So yeah, and I also messed up the... I usually build 2 extra queens straight away, but I sort of forgot, so it's just kind of a sloppy game by me. And I'm like, okay, so it's mech, so I immediately snowed down some spores here, because I thought, why not? I haven't set my rally point for my drones, like, it's kind of a sloppy game for me. And he's doing this, like, small poke with 3 Hellbats and 2 Cyclones. Actually, when I played this, I thought it was a lot more, because I was kind of scared for this push. Which rightfully I probably should be, because my road warden is just finishing up, and actually three Hellbats are really scared to deal with if you don't have roaches. So I'm sort of pulling away here because I don't really want to fight this right now. My spore, my what they're called, spine crawlers are fighting off. At least buying me some time right now, and I realize that I have to pull these drones away, so I'm pulling them away. This is doing a lot of damage, so my first roaches are popping here, so I'm probably gonna fight this pretty soon. I'm just gathering up my forces, and I'm gonna go for good land here and fight it. Hoping to get a surround on these units. Not gonna happen though. He's gonna get away with most of it. So that was a really successful push by him. I was really thrown off. You didn't see it, but I actually threw down a Baneling Nest first because that's usually what I do versus Bio. But then I realized that he was going mech, so I cancelled the Baneling Nest because Banelings are not really useful versus mech in my opinion, and just threw down a Roach Warren. So now my lair is also finished up, so I'm gonna get a Roach speed, and I'm also gonna get my Spire. Because some mech players just forget to get anti-air. So I thought if I just throw in some mutas, that's gonna be really annoying for him to deal with. I also throw down, also triple expand behind this, by the way. I have a lot of money in the bank. My index have been really sloppy this game, so I have a lot of money in the bank. So I thought I might as well just throw down some bases. I do have like a good amount of units, so I'm not too afraid of a push. And I do see him move out here with my Overlord. So this is a very good Overlord placement on this map, by the way. If you are ever to play this map. Serg, you can always put an Overlord right here. So he's gonna push again, which I really like by him, just being aggressive and being in my face. It's not a very scary push, to be honest, and it does get pretty wrecked, which you'll see soon. Because I do have enough to defend it. I saw him moving out, so I was making units. This push is actually a lot smaller than I thought, so I actually probably made too many units here, if I'm totally honest. But see, he's sieging up, he's getting a pretty good position. But he just doesn't have enough. And that push gets warded off. Pretty handily by me. So now I'm just gonna immediately go back to droning, I think. Yeah, I made some mutas as well. Yeah, so I'm gonna make some mutas, I think. At first, but he's secured his third behind this, which is really good by him. Hasn't really taken his gas yet. First Liberator's coming out. I don't think it's enough to fight the mutas though. Yeah, I don't know, like after the patch I'm not sure how good Liberators actually are at fighting mutas. I'm gonna leave that unspoken for now. So he's moving up with these Liberators, guessing he's gonna do some harass with that. Yeah, so these Liberators are moving out. Yeah, so I'm just droning up. So these mutas are now moving out. I'm hoping he's forgot anti-air because a lot of mech players do because Thors are not. They're not like most people don't think to make them. So here my mutas come in and he's like, oh shit, I don't really have anything against that. So after the game, he actually told me that oh I had liberators, but he really only had two. As far as yeah, he had two over here, but I don't think four is enough to fight this off. I don't think if I'd split well enough. So he is pretty new to Legacy of the Void, so he didn't really know that. But that was a pretty interesting game. A lot of mistakes from both of us, obviously because I don't main Zerg. But yeah, so I'll be back shortly with game number two.